Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Weekly DLC. I'm one of your hosts, Karosh, joined always by my co-host, Daniel Vargas.
Whoa.
And Daniel Jang.
Get into robot, Shinji.
If you're not familiar with what we do, we come to you each and every week to podcasting services of your choice. We talk about gaming stuff, movie stuff, comic stuff, everything in between. We have fun. We sit around a table. We each come up with a topic, try to have fun. This is episode 131 of this. We've been doing this for quite a while now. If you have any thoughts on it, or if you have any positive feelings on it or negative, want to review it.
If you need pointers, you go back to 101, but this is 131.
Exactly.
With the special guest.
But yeah, that's what we do. So thank you for joining us for another episode. If this is your first one, welcome aboard. Do you guys want to go into the chat first?
I'd rather do the topics, if that's cool with you.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do topics. Oh shit, he's in topic mode.
Get in the robot.
Yeah, go for it.
So I'm going to start. So it's been a crazy week, but one of the things that happened just after we finished the last episode is Ninja announced that he's moving to Mixer exclusively, and he's not streaming anywhere else other than Mixer. My question is, do you think one person can carry a platform?
Jang,
Thoughts?
can you carry Twitch? Can you carry Twitch?
I have a
You just moved into the city.
I have a yes and no answer. Let me come back to me. I need to
I will come
do
back.
a little bit more.
Boomerang.
Carry a platform. I don't think so. I think they can make a big impact on that platform, but sustainably, I don't think they can carry it. I think they can for time, but like Twitch was big before Ninja. Twitch is still big. I'm forecasting that it'll probably remain big. If it'll be as big as it was, who knows? But like the momentum has gone, and it's like I kind of like the way I thought of it was this: streamers, like the top streamers and the smaller streamers and everyone in between, are like a WWE roster to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was equating it to wrestling, like many other things in my life, and even when like my favorite wrestler leaves and they're like at the top of their game and it's the most shocking moment, it's like CM Punk left or The Rock is gone or whatever. Everyone's like, this is it, this is over. And it's like, oh, there's going to be a lull, and then it comes back and they foster new talent, and hopefully if they want to promote a healthy environment of like new talent, and it's like any company, like you lose a talent, you get a talent. So that was my thought.
I'll go. I agree with you. I don't think one person can carry a platform. I had doubts. So like when it was first announced, I was like, he's obviously the biggest person to have done this, but I've seen it happen before. When Mixer was brand new, they brought over people from YouTube, and it completely messed up their careers. Like it wasn't sustainable for them. The people that like they had a huge following on YouTube, like no one followed them. No one followed these people. I didn't think that was the case with Ninja. I knew there was gonna be a ton of people following. They did a great thing where they allowed, I don't know if they're still allowing it, but they allowed subscribers the very first time to subscribe for free to Ninja.
Oh, okay.
So he was able to build up 1 million subscribers so far. I'm sure it's higher than that now. Last I checked, he just announced we've reached 1 million.
Oh, okay.
Thank you guys. And then I was like, it's not going to work. Like, his first streaming day, he peaked over 7,000 or 70,000 people, which is a huge number. Like, this is not, a number to just like squawk at or whatever. But I think it's been getting lower and lower. But I think he's doing the right thing. He's making this a community thing. So not only is he streaming and helping this platform, every day he ends, he will randomly raid someone, and
And streaming raid, like for those that don't know what that means.
When you raid someone, your whole following at the time of when you end your stream, like everyone watching at that moment, gets put onto this next person's stream. Like
okay.
whoever
you
send them,
okay.
whoever you select. And he's helped huge. not huge streamers, but people that are are I would consider big on Mixer get even bigger because
it's a common
allows-
thing in
yeah.
streaming. As I know, it's happened on Jang's. You had people rate you. You've rated people. It's like a kind of like a feedback of like giving back and stuff. Okay.
He's also, I think I saw, because I follow him and his wife on Twitter.
Okay.
His wife said, like, this was never about us trying to, like, bring in a ton of people. He's like, if we start capping at 3,000 people watching us, that is perfectly fine. He's like, we never thought, like, we're going to bring everyone we possibly can over. This was never a thing about having the highest numbers. He's like, we've said it from the beginning. It's us wanting to start over. And not be as like I guess as big as they were before, and I mean if that's the goal, like to start small again and build up again, I think this is a great route for them and it'll work out.
I have an example. I don't think that one person can carry
Okay.
a platform, but they can help grow a platform. Like a long time ago, before MySpace was big, I remember there's a personality named Tila Tequila. And she kind of like she made MySpace mainstream, in my opinion. So I was looking at the top 10. Mixer is not in the top 10 apps. It used to be number one.
When he announced
when
it?
he announced it. And yeah, one man cannot do it. And the problem is like his numbers were dying.
Mm-hmm.
So like he wasn't like bringing in numbers, and he was co-streaming with Bugga, the guy who won the Fortnite World Cup. That guy had more viewers than Ninja. He was at like 80K or something like that. So it's exciting that this happened because I feel like Twitch should be scared. Like I feel like Twitch is too comfortable, and like the people from H3, the reason why they left Twitch is because
They did.
they went back to YouTube streaming.
Really?
Because the way Twitch treated them. And it was like they wanted them to stream more, but they were like, we're a podcast, we only stream once a week, we can't stream more. And like they're pushing for like these numbers. They probably did that to Ninja. They were explaining like they probably asked Ninja to stream more or do this or do that. And it's just like he was giving suggestions to the Twitch guy, why don't you guys do like YouTube, like make videos and do anything? I was like, oh, we haven't thought of that. It's like, dude, like you guys, like in his head, he's like, these guys are way too comfortable, and they think, oh, we're the top streaming app. No one's gonna touch us, so we're just gonna keep on doing what we do. But he was saying like this Mixer shakeup, he hopes that more like
It scares them.
yeah, I mean it scares them, and also he hopes more paid contracts are given out to big streamers to move to different platforms. He said competition is good, so I'm excited about this whole Ninja thing. I was shocked. I was what?
At first, I thought it was a joke because of it was a video, not it wasn't like just a random at some company doing an interview. It was like a preset video. I was like, huh. I'm used to like seeing basketball players getting like those contracts or like, oh, he's been traded. Oh my god, like that's where I see that. Sort
I
of
think
stuff.
he's a huge sport fan, right? So I think that's probably where that video came from.
Sure.
It might even have been his idea,
Sure.
and then they just helped him film it.
Yeah, I mean, I could see this. I'm curious what the intent is versus what, and then comparing it to what does happen. But I agree with you, Jang, that I think it is in and of itself, it won't be the difference maker of like caring, but what the ideas it presents and the competition it presents are both valuable things to just everyone involved, I think.
Just to like go back, Mixer is owned by Microsoft, so I think they're trying to make Ninja promote Microsoft products like Halo and Gears.
Well, he said his roots are in like Halo, right?
It's in Halo. Yeah, his name's Ninja because he used to assassinate people a lot, kill them from the back
In Halo.
in Halo
Oh, I see.
competition.
But now he doesn't make a very good ninja.
I mean, doesn't
Which
he
is
have the
funny, he
bush?
Yeah, I mean, I've had experience streaming. So when I
Yeah, I wanted to
restreamed,
ask you about your.
I did Twitch, YouTube Gaming, and Mixer. I think 2 people have only stopped by on Mixer. During my whole restream, my whole restream career, only 2. I would always have it on, and no, dude, that thing was dead, dude. But I don't know what it looks like
Where
now.
are your thoughts right now as a not a top streamer, but like on the smaller streamers?
Well,
like, how do you feel this on as like a contributor to that platform and where the area is to be? You've done YouTube, you've done Restream, you're now like only on Twitch. Does this shake anything up for you, or are you just kind of keeping your eyes peeled?
I just hope Twitch is like, okay, we got to fucking change things, or we got to do something different. And that's the problem with Mixer right now. It's not that much different, except for I think there's like experience points. You get badges or something like that.
They have also, I was reading up on it, there's a lot more interactive community features. Like you can add buttons like people can play, like throw a beach volleyball in the middle
that's
of your
cool.
stream.
You
could have people be like, which one will he go for? And everyone's voting. And it's like,
That's
I
cool.
didn't go for the right door.
One of the biggest things too is it allows chat to be active even when he's not playing, so everyone can stay there. It can be community essentially on
I think
his channel.
Twitch is like that.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, then never mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to propose another idea.
Yeah.
Just a thought. This is speculation. What if it's self-sabotage? What if like he knows eventually like he's gonna die out,
Okay.
and instead of like just letting it die out, and he's like, all right, guys, I'm ending. I'm not streaming anymore. I'm sure he's made enough money to live well for a long time. So what if instead of just doing that route, letting his channel die out, he decided to go a quicker route and just
So you're basically saying he's Rick Dalton doing spaghetti westerns.
essentially. But do you think that's a possibility?
I definitely think a part of that, like I agree with some of it. I think like he got like a contract, like he was able to negotiate a contract, and in order for him to take that, I think it had to have met a certain number of criteria that has him happy with whatever he needs personally,
Right.
or with his family or whatever, outside of just the work in of itself of the passion. I think where in my head, I'm just trying to imagine what that is even like. In my head, I'm like, okay, if I'm getting stagnant on this other one and I'm just like, I don't know what else to do creatively, why not mix it up? Why not? Like, Mixer. That's the new tagline, mix it up.
Why not mix it up? Mixer.
It's challenging yourself. It's challenging what a streamer as a platform to go and like. I think it's like mold breaking. To touch on what you were talking about last week of like what everyone is used to knowing of like, okay, everyone just streams here and that's the top dog. It's like, no, if anyone's gonna try it, I'm gonna try it, and if I lose people, I lose people. I'll go back to my. It's a win-win for him because it could get more personal. He could get more in touch with his fans. If he's able to build a community again, he's then shown that there's competition. He's then presenting new ideas, and it's like a new Western front of like what else could happen. Like could Epic come up with a platform of some kind? Like I'm thinking of other top guys that could do some.
I think it could only help him endgame because like, let's say it doesn't work out, 5-year contract. He comes back to Twitch. He'll be big. The comeback would like be like huge. Like,
yeah, he's like Dr. Disrespect. We'll check this.
Yeah.
Coming out.
And also, this is very speculative, but I mean, you've said about like YouTube streaming being tough, and there's some videos you were sharing recently of like why. I wonder, and this is a big wonder, maybe down the road with Stadia launching very soon, if maybe next year they build on that and like create a more structured format for streaming, because that's supposed to go like, hey, I'm just gonna play and it's streaming or this or that, and it's for content creators. That could be like them raising the bar and like trying to get up to like Mixer and Twitch and whatever else is out there.
The only problem is like Ninja moving. It still only helps big time streamers. I feel like it doesn't help the small time streamers at all. Like smaller mid
on Twitch, like
on
getting
everywhere. It
Like,
doesn't help it.
everyone's
I
just
mean,
like,
people
whatever.
on Reddit are like, "Oh, should I move to Mixer now? Now that Ninja is like, that's such a bad idea. Like, don't."
I don't think there's a bad idea. I mean, I think your options at this point are either Twitch or Mixer. Like, but you got to focus on one. I mean, you can in the beginning you can do both. You can
But what
do the
I think
stream.
maybe what you're getting at is like, okay, you're smaller, but you've been verified, or is that
partner.
Partner.
partner where you're like exclusive.
No, what's the one before that?
Affiliate.
Affiliate. Isn't that also you have to be exclusive?
Yeah.
Yeah. So affiliate would be the first step.
I think
and then
that's
get
where you
partner.
decide anything if you want,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then just go from there. And I don't think it'll have as significant an impact now because it's like he's made this big jump. Maybe like if you time things well and find an opportunity of like, oh, a bunch of Destiny streamers are going to something, then that might be a move because it's like, okay, what do? Do I read the room and say, does that now open up more space on this streaming platform for me to rise up, or does the algorithm fuck me over and I don't get it either way? And would it be better? Like, I think it's a circumstantial thing.
I'm also kind of curious what their terms of service is for Mixer. Like, I'm pretty sure it's more chill than Twitch, but I don't know how chill.
I'm sure he
Right?
gets his camera and hides all the nudity. You know.
Yeah, but definitely interesting. Definitely exciting.
Yeah, and then to answer that thought that I had, I don't think it is self-sabotage, and I also think I think of it as more a vacation for him because he had so many people watching him. Like he had like so much social pressure to continue streaming, and he was at the time that this move happened, he wasn't streaming very often because he was going to the Fortnite thing where he would stream one day out of like the week because that's the one day he had at the location.
But was that a Twitch Fortnite thing, or was that just a Fortnite?
That was just a Fortnite thing.
So I wonder, like, because this is a partnership with Twitch and Mixer that we're talking about. We don't know what his partnerships are with games he's playing.
Right. Yeah.
And that could play a factor into things too.
Yeah.
Like, will Fortnite? I mean, they have more streamers on one side. Like, will they be able to be like giving special treatment to one platform versus another?
That was a thing too. Like, because
they do
like
all these,
brand new
like-
games. There was another Realm Royale. They were paying streamers a lot to stream.
But
their
like, you
stuff.
always see like special offer, this game tying into Twitch. Like,
Yeah.
I wonder what Mixer will then do.
It's
if
probably
anything.
just
Yeah.
Gears or Halo stuff, probably. What
But,
tripped me out is that announcement video. Do you see the small detail? I just noticed one small
Which
detail.
detail?
Adidas sweater. This dude's sponsored by Adidas, man.
Really?
That's like mind blowing. Like esports. He's not technically esport, but kind of is. But
I see.
I mean,
he's sponsored by. I was like,
Did you
like
see
the subtle details.
the prize winning for the Fortnite event?
Yeah, 3.
$3 million. This is esport, dude. This is sport.
But he's not good. He's not good enough
He's a
anymore.
sport now, dude.
He's not good enough to compete in that level. But I was like, wow, this guy's sporting Adidas. He's sponsored. I was like, yes. I just want games to be legitimized, not just esports, just video games. And I still think there's a stigma, dude.
Yeah, no, I
Still a
agree.
stigma.
I think when you like go to like some like just office environment and were to say something, they'd be like, "What?" Like they'd still scoff at it.
$3 million. Well,
But like,
I could do that.
like if you start seeing like instead of just the LeBron or the MJ basketballs or the shorts or whatever, you start seeing like a ninja like tracksuit or shoes or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that is another step in that. It's like branding.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is the first thing I noticed recently that shocked me. Honestly, shocked me. I was going through Target just browsing. I'm in the toy section. I've seen Fortnite stuff there before, like the llamas and stuff. I'm like, okay, that at one point shocked me too. But I'm like, whatever, that's normal now. But then I saw Summit 1G actually like pop,
Wow.
like not a pop, but like it wasn't Funko. It was another company.
But it's that
and
type
then
of-
I saw a ninja one,
Oh,
and
yeah,
I saw
I've
a
seen-
Tim the
I've seen
Tatman
those.
one, and I was like, huh? What?
You start doing the dance.
I'm like, they got action figures. Like that's big because like kids go through these aisles all the time, and
I don't see that as big as so that's a collab with like that toy company.
sure, but
So
like
they
just
already,
to see like in the line of merchandise, I would say there's
I
different
think it's
levels of
big.
exposure, but it is
At Target, I think it's big.
it's right next to John Cena and Pokemon. I'm like,
Yeah.
I think that is
I would've-
it is a step in that direction.
If it was in GameStop, I wouldn't be surprised. But Target, that's
yeah,
kind of.
Target was where I was.
My biggest thing is like Ninja has his own merch, like not just merch like you go online
Right.
to store. He's got merch at Walmart, at
Damn.
Target. Yeah, he's got Ninja actual merch.
Okay, another
guys-
shock.
And
like,
but that is his doing.
right.
That is not like
no. This
he's
was
built
like a
that company.
This was like streamer
Exactly.
figures.
That's why I don't think of it as a big because it's like a toy company going like we want to make sales. You're a big person. Can we collab with you
Sure.
and make a toy out of you?
Fair.
But with like Ninja,
but just
he
in
made his
general,
own
just
company.
like all of
just-
these individuals from that
Yeah.
environment, like
I'm kind of curious how big his team is behind his company, his brand.
oh yeah, like his
dude,
social
Ninja.
media guy, his
Like-
whoever.
I don't think it's that big.
I think after the Drake thing, like he hired.
I think he's got people like legally. His legal team is probably big. I don't know about the other stuff. Maybe he's got like a tech guy. Maybe he's got a few other. Because I don't know. I think this was more of an event. His first stream, they had like his computers set up, and they're like, "Oh yeah, check this." Yeah, he's like, "Yeah, we're okay. We're good. Yeah, all right, go back to your
There's
station."
only
Go
like
back to
4
your
wires. Like,
But and the audio levels, all that stuff.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
like we're
yeah,
sitting here with like a. This is my stream setup. It's crazy stuff. It's wild, dude. Like him doing that. I think another big thing, honestly, it's not as much on the streaming side, but I mean, it's in the same world of content creators. The YouTube side, like guys like Xavier Woods and many others like PewDiePie has been a big one, but like people like that, like that are in a different field of work, but they're integrating video games
That's
into
cool,
it.
yeah.
Like recently, the latest thing I saw was Xavier Woods and John Cena and The Rock and Becky Lynch are now new playable characters in Brawlhalla.
Oh shit.
And I'm like, because he's been doing this up, up, down, down thing for so long, he's getting the gaming influence into things. And it's just like it's just these little seeds you're just sowing everywhere, like all the clothes and all this
Yeah.
stuff. It's
Next
crazy.
is Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
But real quick, I would argue that I feel like Ninja is next level compared to PewDiePie. Like PewDiePie may have even higher numbers, but I feel like Ninja's a fucking businessman, dude. Like he has taken his name and made it like something.
I'd
else.
have to sit on that one. I can't I want to react immediately, but I'm like, I don't know because
PewDiePie
effect. Well, like one thing is like personally, I don't know him as well as you guys do, in terms of like following. Like I only recently, like within the last year, found out about Casey Neistat, so I'm
Yeah.
like behind the curve on that. But like PewDiePie, how long has he been around in the YouTube and like business?
very long. I think
Like more than 5 years?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how long has YouTube been out. 10 years.
YouTube's been around for at least.
Damn, who has the bigger sphere of influence? It's different. One has a bigger sphere of influence in money. I think one has
Sure,
a bigger
and
in culture.
Sure.
Or culture.
And that's what I want to think about is like, okay, who's been around longer? What have they been doing? What are their like subject matters? What do they do?
I guess
And, like-
my thought is what Ninja has done with its following as opposed to what PewDiePie. Because PewDiePie, I would argue, I mean, I would say that PewDiePie does have the larger following, but Ninja has made it into like a
This could be another
merchandise thing. And
Save it.
Ninja versus PewDiePie. Who has the bigger influence?
I just don't think PewDiePie has taken action with his following. Like he hasn't like told them like, hey, I'm making this whole new
Maybe
content.
not as directly, but again, like this could be another topic. But like, what has like there's influence in more indirect ways.
Yeah.
and that's what I'm like hesitant to
But that's
like
not-
immediately give a response to.
I just don't see it as active influence. He's not thinking about it and doing it on purpose. Like it's more like he just has a following. People are like, let's save him, let's save his channel, and now there's a huge rally to save his channel. You know, like kind of thing. But
We'll find out on another episode of the Weekly Series.
on the next episode of the week,
I think T Series has a bigger influence.
Shots fired. Next topic.
Yeah, let's move on.
Mine. So there was a recent leak with Street Fighter at Evo because of Steam, a different company. Oops. And there was also a Borderlands content creator, and like there's a news article where he's saying like people came up to him telling him to stop questioning him about the leaks and stop creating leaks. So we are content creators. I wanted to know your opinion. Would you talk
Stop.
about a leak?
I can start. I would talk about a leak.
I think we have. We haven't been the ones to break it.
I guess maybe like that. Like if we were to break a leak, would you? Like if you had the opportunity to be the first one to talk about this.
Did you ever answer already? For that?
Yeah. That's what I guess my thought process was.
Okay.
That's what I was assuming is like breaking. We're being one of the
Okay,
first
okay.
few to announce this. I would like because it wouldn't be. My thought process wouldn't be like someone's about to fucking come down on me and like take legal action. Like that's not my thought process. My thought process is this is information that's been out, and I'm gonna share it. Like it's just how it is. Like it's the fact that it got leaked out. I'm already thinking it's gonna come out somewhere. I might as well be the first one to take it out. So yeah, I'd try to be the very first one.
So you find out a leak. What do you do next? Like, you're like, hey, Kurosh, we got to record a podcast now. Like, do we do?
I burn the newspaper so that no one knows.
What?
What do you do?
How would you want to like just on a podcast?
Because if you just like write a tweet, you're not gonna get money. Like, or
Unless you're smart about it, dude. Trending, dude.
Ninja, ooh.
Got to be trending, bro.
how does trending work
At
to
Target?
money?
leaks.
Yeah, how would
How would you break it? The only thing I could think of is through the podcast, and it had to be right away.
Yeah, we'd have to talk about it now and then release it tomorrow. for
At
that
least
same day.
tonight.
Yeah. I would probably do Twitter. That's all I've got, man. I can't make a fucking YouTube video. I don't even have YouTube, man.
They do. Everyone, it's public.
I've never made a video, dude, so
Oh, okay.
I'm just kidding. I've made videos, but like it's just I don't have a following. Like I'm not even gonna make money off of that because I don't have enough followers
So then
to
why
make
are
money.
you doing it?
Popularity, fame.
But if you don't have a following, then
It'll build the popularity, okay?
okay.
But at the moment of making that video won't make money because I still wouldn't have it monetized. But then if I make that video and it gets big, then all the following videos I will make money off of.
I see. Okay. Jang, what do you think?
So I had other questions. with
Okay,
it.
I mean, go
What
for
if
it.
a guy came up to you, works for a company, behind closed doors? I'm going to tell you something. Don't publish it.
Oh no, then I wouldn't publish it.
Okay. What if a friend tells you, and it's like, I have a leak, and you can't.
If he tells me I can't, then I'm not gonna publish it.
All right. That's
I would keep confidentiality.
Yeah.
I think for me, I wouldn't feel comfortable breaking a leak because my thought is less about the company and more about like I'm taking for instance like Bungie or Pokemon or someone.
Bungie.
I'd be like, okay, there's a team that worked on this, and they want us. There's an element of surprise, and as far as they're concerned, there's an enthusiasm. I know those are like I'm using companies that I know more so than like I don't know how Dota people are or how the Dota company is like their social media team or their but I don't know how that would impact if it would even impact anything. But also I feel like.
I think there's also a scale to it, like because you're comparing Bungie, like
I would indirectly do stuff. I would be like, hey, I know, like in my head, hey, there's a leak about like the next Pokemon game or something. We should do a topic about Pokemon. I wouldn't maybe do it about that, but yeah, I think that's where I would go. I would kind of like beat around the bush. But I don't know. Personally, I would be like...
Let's compare two things. So let's say you had information on Bungie. We now know, like me and you, we kind of follow them. So we know that they've broken off of Battle.net and with Activision. Sure. So they're no longer a big name company. They are what you would consider an indie company at this point. Sure. So out of that, you would have respect for them. So you'd be like, I don't really want to publish this information that it can harm them. But then let's compare it to someone that people don't generally like. Let's compare it to a company like EA. Like if you had information about that, would you see them as a company that you don't want to harm, or
at that point
again,
I wouldn't look at the company. I would look at the people that work at the company. And I think also the other thing that I would consider is what kind of leak is it? Is it, hey, someone's leaked this like letter from inside the company saying how poor work conditions are or how shitty they're treating their employees or something? That I think should be like awareness should be raised.
Because that is about the people.
I think that because that's I feel like is wrong. And if it's about the game, I'm less like I don't know. I don't see that. Like I guess there's an opportunity there, but it comes with a lot of baggage that could, like, based on what we're seeing and based on what I've seen other people, like, they get blacklisted, they get this, they get that, they get confronted, they get whatever, investigated. I'm like, I don't want the rest of my shit investigated.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, if I had the energy, maybe, but I don't do this full time, so for me, maybe not. But what would you do?
same answer. Like, I would leak it through the podcast, maybe through the stream. If it's confidential, then I won't. Friend, I won't. Yeah, pretty much the same.
But it's crazy to be like from what we were talking about with the Borderlands guy, for instance. Again, this is just information that's been shared through news articles, but like he was sharing information that was made available publicly. Like anyone could have gotten the same. It wasn't like he had insider, like he data mined something or whatever. And he pieced things together from what you were saying, Vargas, and they were suspicious of that. They're like, no, we think he knows something. I think that is kind of nerve-wracking as a content creator because it's like we can speculate all we want, and one of us might get it right.
Which is crazy because Kotaku did the same thing with Death Stranding. They made a review out of speculation of, and they're not getting. I mean, they're not doing anything.
And yeah, it's like, okay, who am I? What is the information I'm doing? And I feel like as long as like it's something that like content creators I think going forward have to be conscious of and be careful of, because even if you're not doing anything wrong, you could be perceived to be doing something wrong, and having your evidence, having your whatever in a row is like protecting yourself, because there are people like one of our videos got taken down, and I'm like, there was nothing in that video that, and I'm like, people can and there's big cases with like H3 and Jim Sterling and other people that just get challenged, and it's like, hey, we have more money than you, we can go longer at this back and forth. Even if we're wrong, we have the research. It's like, man, that's the stuff that this makes me think about.
And that put you into perspective when you saw like our video get a takedown. You're like, I'm scared. Like I can't do anything because if I fight it,
there's a chance that they could, I don't know, push harder.
Yeah. And they'll just be like, no, we double down on the fact that this is a
this minutia thing.
The thing is, like, we don't put in anything extra. This is our voices talking about topics. Like. I feel like I know there isn't anything that can be copyrighted.
Except that one time. Ric Flair.
But that's not the one that this is referring to. So that's the thing. But it's true. Like, at that point, it doesn't even matter. Like, it becomes a matter of who has the most money, who can continue on this battle. Yeah, exactly. So even if they're completely 100% in the wrong, if they got more money to continue this fight, we're losing. So, that becomes a scary factor. The crazy thing to me though is I haven't looked into it like crazy, but I don't believe anything crazy leaked out of this. Like there's nothing, like it's just like early information. Like here's a certain character. Oh, they're gonna have this kind of weapon. Oh, they're gonna have like a foresty environment or whatever. It's this type of information, which I don't think is harmful. In a sense, like for the company, it's helping it out. It's like causing more talk about Borderlands.
Leaks happen to games all the time, and I'm always like, sometimes they're conscious of it. They're like, because of the way their updates work, people are data mining things.
Yeah,
and so through that, they're sharing information like, hey, we've pieced together X, Y, and Z. And it's like, that is maybe where I would get like uncertain, because I'm like, anyone can data mine something, but you need tools to do it, and you need to know what you're doing. But at the same time, I'm like, players are about to find. I don't know. Like, part of me is like, I like being the player, and I don't want to.
It's like a spoiler. Like you don't want to do. You want to make a spoiler. Yeah.
So like when it comes to that stuff, I don't know. I think I'm one way, but when it comes to like behind the scenes, like that's where I think it becomes grayer for me. But
yeah.
It is interesting.
I feel like they're going out of their way to stop something that I only feel can benefit them, because it's just causing more talk. Like maybe they're thinking like eventually it'll be something important.
They don't want to. I feel like it's like they want to control the conversation.
That's crazy though, because it's happened so many times and it's never been like. I mean, it's been an issue, but not a huge issue, and I feel like they're making this a big issue.
And it could be this because this person, this one time, it has a bigger following than maybe the thousands of others that have like quietly done the same thing that might have happened. But I'm also thinking like, if I have a thing and someone else is talking about it, and all of a sudden that someone else says all the things about my game, which I'm like, whatever, it's harmless. But then all of a sudden they start saying something like about Nazis or about something else. I'm like, oh shit, now we're being associated with that. So people are Googling like Borderlands and this, and it's like, fuck. That in that sense is where I would be like, as a PR person, like, fuck, like I can't control everything, but I need to like be careful where things are going, because PewDiePie, like, he got associated with something and everyone was like,
yeah.
And then that affected a whole lot of other people, and it's like,
I just don't feel like this one specific thing is that extreme, and it confounds me as to why.
No, it's not. I wouldn't say it's this one. I'm just saying, like, as a general, like, why do they even do it? Yeah. What you were saying. It's interesting.
Yeah.
So the Street Fighter one, I was trying to understand more. That was just like, it was on Steam.
I don't know what happened, but Steam leaked it.
Because Christmas and E3, you always see like Walmart or Albertsons or Amazon or someone like, oh, they put up like 8 new postings. What is this? And some shit happens. Was it like that?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
I think it was just a store page for that specific thing or whatever.
Interesting. I wonder how they, like, is there any reprimand?
I mean, do you guys prefer the secret announcement at the event, or do you guys you don't care about the leak?
I honestly don't really care. Like either way, I'm like it makes me aware that now I should watch out for this announcement. You know, like I see a glimpse, like, oh wait, there's gonna be a Street Fighter 10. Oh shit,
Sure.
like, you know.
I mean, if it makes it to be a surprise, I'm happy. But if it doesn't, and I've learned about it ahead of time, about the release or an announcement or something, I don't mind. I think where I might mind is like a leak of like a critical moment, like essentially
like a
a
story.
spoiler.
Yeah.
Like something like
Yeah, that's
this,
what I would.
like this. Where they've already announced like this, all this crazy shit, and I'm
Like Final Fantasy 7, Area Styles.
Mine's
Oh shit.
mine's different.
oh yeah.
I prefer it if there's an audience reaction. I'd rather see it with an audience reaction, like, oh.
So E3.
If it was just like an E3 trailer, I don't mind. But audience reaction, I want that
Yeah, yeah.
energy. Like,
It's like when we saw the Mortal Kombat trailer at VGAs, that was so cool. When I saw the Breath of the Wild DLC at the previous VGAs, it
that was not cool.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I got it leaked to me, so that's why I was. No, I'm kidding.
When I saw the Nintendo fanboy reaction, as so you're in for the hype.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I really am indifferent to a leak or not, unless like you're saying like it's a spoil, like a story driven type thing where it's they announce it and they're like, oh, and there's this character that ends up like
Ellie dies.
getting killed. You're
Well,
like,
like,
what the fuck? Why would you say that?
I would also say, like, to Jeng's point, like, if we're like going to BE3 or to EA or whatever, I'm not gonna look into anything the day before or whatever. I'm just gonna be like, all right, I'm at the point now. If whatever I see there is what I'll see there. I guess there could be something you could take advantage of that if you know that, because then you could be like, oh, I'm going to be the first to get the reaction of everyone, like your Last of Us video PSX. You didn't know that, but like you got the recording of that, and it's like, oh man, if I could do that again, it's like, oh. So.
See, that's not. I wouldn't say that's a leak, but that is
Right. But like if you
that is
knew of the
early,
leak, you're
yeah.
like anticipating, like I can prepare something to like get everyone's reaction, and whereas everyone else is like, oh shit, oh, and then fumbling and getting like a half-assed video.
Yeah. But yeah, you were one of the first few videos that came up that had that specific trailer from E3, which obviously people had to wait until they uploaded it, which would have been like at the end of E3, and he just uploaded it right away. And
No, I
boom.
went home and uploaded.
So how is it working at Naughty Dog?
Now that the confidentiality agreement's over,
Last of Us
we're
3?
like 70% done.
Joel and Ellie's baby?
You heard it here.
What was the guy's phrase when we were at that event and he had a legit Naughty Dog shirt?
He said they were on the book, like 60%.
No, right. But like when he said he was mentioning about his shirt, like saying it was legit.
Where'd you get your shirt? I was like, I said, where'd you get your shirt? Oh, I work there. Like, or
Yeah,
something like
I
that.
remember. That guy was too fucking.
Indicate. You should go. Wear an exclusive like game shirt. People will mistake you.
I work for NetherRealm.
MK4? MK
40?
12, I meant.
I mean, I could still wear that same shirt and people would react the same way because it's not coming out this year.
Oh my gosh. All right, you guys.
My
Yeah,
topic?
next topic.
I know we've kind of talked about like the positives of games. I just want to kind of get personal. Like, if someone were to come up, I mean, not beating around the bush. There's been a lot of talk recently of like games are negatively influencing society, and games this and games that, and
Cause violence.
and cause shootings and can impact and all that stuff. And it's like, I've seen it do so much good. And I kind of wanted to ask what you guys think. Like, if someone were to be like, why should I play video games? And if you were like, these are positives that might have come out of that, share some of those.
I mean, there's always like the technical, like, oh, it builds motor skills. Or
Yeah,
it
we've
builds,
talked
like,
about those
memory
too. It's
building.
like dexterity and this,
Yeah,
that, and
exactly.
that's there.
But I
like,
think there's
first
also like community building. You know, like me and Jang, we became, I would say, better friends because we were constantly doing game things together, and we would even do like the OC Street Pass.
Monster
You know?
Hunter. You
Yeah, like it was even through Monster Hunter is where we like really met up. Like it was with Fries, we'd hang out at a Sonic's past their
PAX.
closing. PAX. you
Monster
know?
Hunter meetup shout outs.
But yeah, like we would hang out, and you know, it builds a community, and the biggest one, the reason I brought up the OC community one is or the OC Street Pass, is that one built its own community, like a huge one. You'd come in and people would act like they knew you, like, hey, what's up? And it's just a lot of different people that were there.
Hey, Daniels.
Yeah, like everyone kind of just knew us. But I just thought it was really cool. Like, this is insane. Like, if I never came to this, I would never, have seen something like this, like this community building that it does.
And I feel like the through line of that for me is like, okay, if I'm playing, like, why should I play video games? I'm like, okay, well, there's communities everywhere else, like, for other things. Why this? And it's like, this is another one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you don't feel like any of those are the environment or the people or the vibe or whatever, there's so many more that games have also added, whether it be locally, like how you're saying, like, person to person, whether it be online. You could, like, make a clan with people that you've never met, but, like, you form bonds with those people and you're chatting, you're like, all right, let's do a raid or let's play, like, well, so one of the friends I know, like, he does he goes through Discord and he's in a guild and he's WoW and stuff, and, like, hearing him say, like, oh, he's, like, helping people that he barely knows, and he's like, oh, I'll give him gold, I'll help him out with this. I'm like, that's cool. Like, he wouldn't, like, that's like that's exercising, like, feelings and just, like, a general positive energy that you're exuding. It's like, otherwise, what would you do? You play a game isolated by yourself, and I mean, there's benefits to that too. But, like, I think that community aspect, that's when it's there and you like it and you're able to utilize it.
And you've seen, like, another point of that. Like, well, I mean, it's the same thing, community aspect, but Pokemon Go, like, how huge that's gotten. Yeah, like, you hit up people on Discord and
even just,
meet
like,
up over
walking
here, by.
raid. Yeah, just walking by and seeing, like, it's crazy when you see a parent and their kids and they're like, oh, is this how? And I'm like, all right, I'll help you out, or oh yeah, I'm here for that too, haha. The sharing in their troubles or helping out. Like, yeah, I agree, that's true. So it's just like random, like, hey, you might be like have, like, grandchildren and, like, all these other experiences, and I might be, like, just doing podcasts and goofing around, but, like, we share this in common. It's so weird.
There's games that promote activities, and that's Pokemon Go. Like you're saying, like, it's causing people that are generally older and may not go out just because like there's not much to do for them at that age. They're walking around catching Pokemon over here.
Like 30 phones on a bike.
They're helping the phone community.
the phone companies.
Yeah. Chang, do you have any?
Mine's is kind of different. It's more towards streaming. The reason why I got into streaming, and one of the reasons why, one of the goals for this podcast is to bring entertainment and laughter into the world. So I try to be funny and entertaining, and try to bring, a little bit more happiness into this bleak, dark world.
Black Mirror.
There's a lot of dark events that happen. So and that's also the same thing with streamers, why a lot of people watch other streamers. Like, I'll watch, like, CD in the Third, and I'm like, man, this guy's entertaining, man. How do I get on your level, senpai?
So, do you ever, as a streamer, feel like it's also, as much it is for others that you're trying to do the entertainment for, do you feel like it's putting you're like, by putting myself in this position and being in this, like, role of entertainer, I'm entertaining, like, I'm giving myself better vibes? Like, it's therapeutic in any way?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's because, like, I think so.
Okay.
It's even with the trolls, it's funny.
Yeah.
Like, it's still funny. I mean, until someone gets swatted.
Like, do you ever, like, come in,
Sock
like, you're like, I had a shitty day, or, like, things are, like, in the culture might be a certain way, and it's stressing you out, and it's like streaming elevates you?
Every day, dude.
Yeah.
When I'm at work, dude, that's, like, the thing I look forward to. I'm like,
Okay.
fuck, I can't wait to get out of here. And
Yeah.
even though I'm tired, I can't wait.
Yeah, I think both of those. I think another one is just, like, imagining, just like, I mean, reading a book, you get transported to another place. You play tabletop games. That's another way of doing that. But, like, video games, I'm always like, man, if I could live in the Pokemon world, or if I could be a Destiny Guardian or whatever. It's like another exercise of just, like, escapism, but at the same time, just like, like, just my problems stop here. I can just, like, enjoy. I can relax. It's like a meditation, or it's therapeutic in many, more than one way. Like, whether it's with others or by yourself. A lot of times I just want to decompress, just, like, sit there and play Mario or Tetris even. Just, like, I'm good at, like, I might struggle with, like, a challenge at work one day, and I'd be like, come home, I'm like, I'm good at this game. And the feeling of like being successful at something or proficient in something is a very gratifying feeling, I think, in whether it be in a work or whether it be at home for fun, for a fictional world that like that doesn't have any real impact. Like that feeling of like, I'm good at this and I'm a pro and I can guide others maybe even. Like in Pokemon Go, I'm like, I know what I'm doing, I'm proficient. And like that, I don't know, there's like endorphins that go off, I think, when you have that confidence in something, whatever it may be. Whether it's like a hobby or like podcasting or gaming. I think games are an outlet of that. It's like, oh, high score and
I think like just like watching TV is an outlet, reading a book is an outlet. Yeah, video games is just another method of seeing imagination at work, and then also building imagination. Like it's just funny. Like I think of like there's like that SpongeBob episode where all he has is like a shipping box. And he sits inside of it, and like Squidward starts hearing like, he starts hearing like car noises. He's like, what the? And he opens it up, and he's just in the box, and he's like, what the? And it's his imagination. And it's just like he has all of this, and I feel like games, it's given me a better outlook on imagination. Like it's allowed me to like see more of the world, or like imagine more that I don't feel like I could have before. You know, so yeah, I mean.
I have another one actually. I know not all gamers are just all people. Like when you play, I notice it more with board games than I do with video games. But even with video games, well, people will tend to lean towards cooperative versus competitive, like PvP versus co-op. And I like a healthy mix of both. I feel like PvP is a very healthy way to exercise competition, like whether it be sports or whether it be video games. Like there's a lot of my friends right now that. Just going to the arcade and be like, hey, you kicked my ass like 8 times last week at Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I want to fucking go again. And it's like having that outlet to like playfully, but like in a healthy way, just like exercise that. I feel like it's very gratifying. Even when I get maybe I'm unique in that like even when I get my ass kicked, I'm like, all right, it's like that Dragon Ball Z mentality. Is like I'm challenged. Like there's always a higher dog. And it's like you gotta try. But like it's just fun any which way. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm the big guy, and they're trying to beat me. I'm like, all right, let's see what. I'll taunt them and like egg them on and try to be like, let me see if they can rise up. And then when they do beat me, they have such a like, fuck yeah. Or when I beat them, it's like it's such a fun feeling. It's like when you're around others that have that mindset, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think that's what like these Evos and these tournaments are. It's like people that no matter like, I mean, more often than not, like you see Sonic Fox and who's the other guy? Goichi. And like they're just going to town in the fights, and Sonic Fox is like teabagging, taunting him, and all that. And that's another thing. But like he's taunting him and doing all that stuff. And then when Goichi wins, and he's the grand champion of this all. He breaks down. They literally just like are hugging, and he's like raising his hand. It's like that. It's like camaraderie, but at the same time, like that energy.
He's like, you deserve it. Like you won. Like this is it. But yeah, they had a friendly competition. They'd mess around and have like little promo videos of you know, like you're going down, and then
they're having fun with it.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I love that. It's like just. Yeah, it's great. I think all that is just like healthy.
Have you guys seen the memes for these things?
No.
For like the not for the Goichi thing, but like the gun violence in general. They'll show like there's that one where the lady's cat? All mad. Yeah, she's violence in video games, and the cat's like, I'm just sitting here cleaning my Animal Crossing town, you know, like not doing anything.
The two that I saw was like, I'm resetting my save because I made someone sad in my game. And then the other one was Yakuza, and it was one of the disco dancing scenes. It's like video games cause violence, and it's just like
Yakuza's out there, man.
Yeah,
that freaking game.
Reggie, I mean, he chimed in on this.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
The thing is, like, let's say video games, you know, something happened to them. They're gonna find violent movies. Like they're always gonna find something.
To pick one thing out, it's like.
Yeah. Like it's just never gonna end. They're gonna blame something else. Blame something, and not the real problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to think of the positives and like reminisce on that and emphasize again like what are those things that like are great. And I'm wondering what like other people think is some of those positives. Why would you recommend video games to anyone? I've been actually I'll say one more thing. they're great in work environments too. I don't think I mentioned it last week. I've been testing with a few colleagues of mine at work that are in similar like nerdy interests. This game called Artemis. I don't know if I mentioned it before. It's like a spin-off of Star Trek, where you're like a bridge of a spaceship, and I wanted to like make this a team building exercise.
Oh yeah, I saw your Instagram pictures on it. Yeah.
So like, I had several devices. I had tablets, phones, computer, everything, and I was just like, all right, one of your roles are designated, go. And like seeing them, it's sort of like D&D, but at the same time they were like, all right, Captain would be like, oh shit, I'm not doing this right. I gotta make sure I give you the command. I gotta make sure to tell you to tell, like that person can't tell that person what to do.
Oh wow.
So like one of them was like, hey, engines, do this. And then the engines guy was like, Captain, do you want me to do that order? And it's like, oh shit, like I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
It's like you got to realize like the team structure. And I'm hoping out of that comes like, they all came out of like, that was a lot of fun. I'm like, that's great. I'm happy. I also want to learn if I can take people that don't play video games.
Right.
And make this like take a group of coworkers and be like, you guys can maybe try learning techniques or things about each other to be a better communicating team. And so I'm like, and I was like, in looking into this, I was like, I can't be the first to do this. So I started looking up like team building in the work environment in video games. And there's a guy, I think in Ohio or somewhere in the Midwest, I think. He's got a whole website of like all the things he's learned doing things of like mixers and team builders. Like it's good to have some competitive games, and this is what it brings out. And it's good to have these kinds of games. This is what it does. And it's like how to utilize games and what it does to the psychology of in the work and in applying it to the work environment. I'm like, there's a lot that I could like not many people are tapping into. Like not even in an office environment, just anywhere. Like
just don't ever use Mario Party as a team builder.
Overcooked.
Or overcooked. Those don't build teams; they destroy teams.
They break them down. Reorganization, the guys. Yeah, that was the only other
Yeah,
thing.
that's good. That's good. You guys want to go into what we've done?
Yeah, what you guys been up to?
So I watched. I think no, never mind. You recently. I already watched. I already mentioned that I watched. I saw Hobbs and Shaw. That's the new thing I saw. Really good. Like I mean, I went in that movie expecting action, and I saw action, and that's what I wanted, dude. So there's such a weird scene. There's a scene where he is shirtless.
Oh yeah,
Vin Diesel.
Yeah. No Vin Diesel.
Sorry, The Rock.
Vin Diesel.
No, Vin Diesel.
No.
So The Rock, he comes out shirtless, and I'm like, okay. I mean, I understand
when he's doing the haka.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's a scene where he just randomly like is running, puts on his shirt, and all of a sudden he's just like, I was like, this is.
See, he has one of his
ladies.
One of the buddies tosses him a shirt, and he's like running. I'm like, is that necessary?
I mean, it's better than just all of a sudden him having a shirt on, but it was just such a like.
It's weird.
You're concentrating on one thing, dude. Why are you so worried about the shirt at this moment? But it's so funny to me.
Too much vitamin D, bro. He's got skin problems.
So there was that, and then I think last time we talked about it was ending the voucher thing. I haven't checked if it actually ended, but I ended up buying it that day.
I bought it literally like after I was like, oh shit, 8 minutes before midnight.
Yeah.
Buy.
So yeah, I bought it. So then I have it on hold, and I'm waiting for. I think I'm gonna end up just buying Zelda, and then
Pokemon.
Pokemon, yeah, Pokemon Shield specifically.
Did you guys see the new info on it?
No.
They showed like there in Sun and Moon there was Alolan forms of
yeah.
and there was Alolan forms of prior, and Weezing looks like a fucking
industrial fucking
Did you see
chimney
it?
shit.
Did you see it?
It's so ridiculous, dude.
Nice.
Because it's like British.
Dapper.
But then someone was like, he looks like a bong, like a bowl.
I think of just like a nuclear power plant fucking.
Well, no, not even that.
giant
Like
chimney.
in England, they have the stacks,
Oh, that's
and
right.
it's literally that.
Yeah.
So Hobbs and Shaw in the Fast and Furious franchise, because I saw it as well, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. But I knew what I was going into. It is very much what the trailer shows. Like
I'm
it's
the Black Superman.
dude. I loved Idris Elba. He like for me like I wanted more.
Did you watch the Hot Ones interview with him?
No,
It's really good.
Yeah,
I recommend it.
Okay, I gotta watch that.
And then there's the most recent one with
Kristen Bell?
Yeah, she kills it, dude. Holy crap, she isn't affected by this shit.
Nice.
not affected by any of this shit. But
Okay. But yeah, so
Idris Elba is such a cool dude.
he's good. Dwayne is good. Like, I'm not the biggest rock actor fan. Like, he's all right. It's like hit or miss for me. But I bet he never miss. Jason Statham, though, was very entertaining for me. And then
With
The-
surprise guests.
there's some surprise guests that people who do watch it will be, I think, thoroughly happy. No, I'm not going to say anything. I did also know that the director, I didn't notice going in, but the director did one of the John Wick movies.
Oh shit.
One of the first two, at least. I don't know if he did both. He did the Deadpool movies, I think.
Tim Miller.
No, it's not Tim Miller. Maybe it was the. Well, did Tim Miller do the second Deadpool?
I think he only did the first one.
Okay, it's the second. I think the second one, and he did something else that was also like crazy action and R-rated. And I was like, I can see where this
Oh, the action comes from.
the action and B the humor all kind of
Nice.
came together. It was by far the most bonkers of anything related to Fast and Furious. Like, it was crazy, but yeah, I
Yeah.
just wanted to chime in. I didn't realize how long it was. When I read up on the runtime, it was like 2 hours and 25 minutes.
See, but this didn't feel like it compared to like.
It did not.
What's the fun?
But when I think about it, like if I were to rewatch it, I think I would feel
Yeah,
it.
definitely. Which is,
Because-
I think I don't have experience with that because I generally don't rewatch movies. I don't
do.
ever really.
I don't do it
really
as much,
feel it.
but yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, I could see stuff getting cut out. Like in hindsight, I'm like, that was whatever. But
The
yeah.
whole shirt putting on and didn't need
Yeah.
it.
They were trying to get Jason Momoa, and he wanted to be a part of this. Schedule conflicts happen. So if it gets another one, I bet money.
Is there a wrestler in it?
Roman
Because
Reigns.
Yeah, he's in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's in a commercial.
He I think. I mean, I'm not sure, but he might have been the role they were going to go for Momoa. But he did all right. He got some screen time.
Yeah.
What else, did you do anything else?
I'd say. I mean, I watched like an extra episode of.
Evangelion.
Yeah, Evangelion. But I'll probably end up watching it before we do the next one. And
Okay.
Congratulations.
Talk about it. But yeah, that's all. That's all I've done.
What are we up to, Jay?
Trying to remember. Okay, because I played a shit ton of games.
You did.
Near, man.
Where are you at?
Done.
I think I should just progress in the
You
main
should.
story because the side story is just killing me.
You shouldn't focus on this.
killing me, Larry.
I think you've done there. No, there is one side story, but you're still on your first playthrough.
Yes.
Okay.
Damn.
There is one side story I want you to play, but it's pretty. I don't think it's a side story. It's
Just say who initiates it.
that you fought. It's a boss. It's that one with the theater.
Okay. I haven't done.
I
the
think
side story.
it's required. So maybe it's not a side mission.
It is required because like one of the playthroughs, you go to that area. Like
Yeah. Okay, never mind.
Their
then.
area.
Just play through the main game. Don't worry about side stories.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna play through the main story.
I think
You're
yeah.
not, it's got plenty enough in the main game to like chew on. Like,
I think when you start going back to the main story, you're gonna like re-love the game again. So
Yeah, I think so too.
but where are you at with it?
So basically, the main story part, the worms. The city has a crater, like, and then the aliens are here, and then there's worms, and I haven't gone to investigate the crater.
okay.
Okay.
So that's pretty much towards.
It's like,
yeah,
it's not
it-
scratching the surface.
it's
so.
towards the end of that first playthrough. I would say.
Really?
Yeah.
think
Nani?
Or maybe.
dun.
Okay, so
dun.
what's weird is like, there's a side quest where I had to kill other my type of robots. I would go to the area and I can't fucking find them. I'm just like, there's a red circle, and I'm like, where is this guy?
I think it's like a mountain, right? Like there's like a higher.
There was a
level.
few points like that. That was annoying.
Yeah.
There was one point with like a castle that I was like, what the fuck?
And,
Where do I go?
I fought this dude. He's like a master. He's on a roof, and you fight. He upgrades 10 levels every time you fight him. So, Master Servo, that's his name.
Oh yeah.
Master Servo.
He kind of teaches you.
Master Servo.
Yeah.
Every time you beat him, he requires something, and then he gives you stuff.
Yeah.
And
That sounds familiar.
so I'm at level 17. I fought him at level 40, and it took me 30 minutes to beat him. And then now he's at level 50. I'm at such a low level, I can't even
I think you
initiate
need
the
to
fight.
progress
I
the
can't-
main story.
I can't initiate the fight. Like,
I don't know where you are actually in the main story because there's the thing is like again like there's so many playthroughs where I forget if this is like from the first playthrough from the last playthrough, so I can't really say.
I'm trying to worry.
Yeah. There's you're worried about what you can say and you can't say.
Are you enjoying it? Outside of the side quest thing?
I barely did side quests, so I mean, I'm not enjoying the side quests.
Okay.
That's
Don't do the side quest. Just continue the main
okay.
story.
I'm gonna continue, and I played Bloodborne, got back into it. The Gentleman's Run, Threaded Cane, and it is fucking hard.
What is the Gentleman's Run?
So like I'm
For those that are
dressed
not-
really dapper, like the
But that shit
Wheezing
gives you no fucking
Okay.
armor.
with a top hat, and there's a cane that turns into a whip.
Okay.
It's a shitty ass weapon,
Okay.
and I want to beat the game with that weapon, and it's fucking hard.
It's an actual challenge, but
It's
other
not a
people-
challenge. I mean,
Oh, you're
I'm
doing
just,
it.
I'm
Sean.
just doing a challenge.
Not
okay.
an in-game challenge, but it's like a
Well,
community.
like I know people in Pokemon do like Nuzlocke challenge, where it's like a set rule of something.
Yeah.
This isn't a set rule of something. You're just
No.
putting this. Okay.
Yeah, it's and the reason why I'm justifying it is people have beat this game with fists only. So I'm like,
Slappers.
I can
Okay.
I can use a cane.
Okay.
Went back to so a while back. Remember, I had trouble with my Nintendo Switch. It wouldn't hold a charge.
Yeah.
So I read something somewhere that your AC adapter sometimes has this fail-safe device where it's if you leave it charged in, it'll stop working. So you have to like unplug it for 5 minutes, and then when you plug it back in, it'll work.
So
I read it in Reddit, and so I bought a new charger, and then for some strange reason I was like, let me use the old charger, and it worked. And I was like, what the fuck? I don't know why it worked. It happened again this past week because I was playing The Messenger, and I wanted to play it again the next day, and it wouldn't charge. The dock wouldn't work. I was like, what the heck? And I read in Reddit that you got to unplug it for 5 minutes.
And it worked.
Yeah.
Weird.
you remember Alexi? That weekend, the San Diego, she messaged me the following time, and she's like, her thing wasn't charging or whatever. And I wonder if it's the same thing. She took it to a neighbor's, used their cord, and it worked, but hers wasn't working. So I wonder if she leaves it disconnected for like over 5 minutes, it'll start working again.
Yeah. So I played the Messenger's fucking hard, dude. I
What,
totally
the
forgot
sound
how
in the
hard
water?
it was because I've been playing hard games like crazy, and then I'm like, Messenger. Oh, I did everything in it. Went back to it. It's fucking hard.
There's DLC, right?
Yeah, I'm on the DLC. It's fucking hard. So I had to rebeat the boss again, which is fucking annoying.
Just the last boss, right?
Yeah. I mean, getting to the boss is annoying. The boss isn't hard, but getting to him was fucking annoying. And I played it, and it's cool. Yeah, I mean, what I read is they plan on doing 2 more DLCs, depending on how well the sales do in this game. I don't know if it's doing well or...
I think it is.
Okay.
I don't
good.
know. I haven't
So
seen
they're
any
doing
updates.
2 more free DLCs.
Oh wow.
So if this sells well.
Okay. But they might do like a definitive edition too. I could see them doing that, like a physical.
Well, right now, I think like at least on Nintendo Switch, if you go to the store page, they sell it as like a dual combo for $20. So it's like you get the Messenger and the DLC or whatever.
Okay.
So
The fucking shopkeeper.
He's the best. They're good. I'm curious what they do after either additional, whatever they do additional with
Or a new
Messenger,
game.
or what new IP they
Yeah.
decide to do.
It's multiverse. That DLC's multiverse. So it's not a spoiler. They tell you it's multiverse.
can't America's butt, dude.
Rewatched Evangelion. The ending part up to the last angel to the end, and watched End of Ava all over again. And without spoiling it, TV series ending is better than End of Ava. I don't like.
Is
ending.
that what End of Ava was supposed to be? Was like a redoing of the ending
It's to explain it because
without going into it?
yeah, dude, the ending is weird. It is weird.
Yeah,
it is
very
fucking weird.
It's
So
very weird.
it's near Automata weird.
Yeah, it is.
Chivania.
Actually, I was randomly in my playlist played the song from
Near.
Ghost in a Shell,
Oh.
and I was like, Near? I'm like, no, this isn't Near. This is Ghost. I'm like, I'm mixing up my like crazy sci-fi anime.
And then
When was the last time you did watch Evangelion? Prior to this,
Ooh, man.
long time ago.
2005 probably. That was 14 years.
How did it hit you
Shit.
then, as compared to now? Like, did you enjoy it, or did we just?
I
rewatching
understand it
too-
a lot more. I think I didn't like it when I first watched it.
Okay.
being a little older, watching it, I'm like, I can appreciate it
Okay.
for what it is. Like, yeah, I could appreciate it a lot more. Damn, congratulations. And didn't watch anything else. Wait, was Evo this past? Oh, I watched some of Evo. I watched like Tekken, Soul Calibur, the ending of Soul Calibur, the last match for Smash. I didn't watch Street Fighter. I don't know. Street Fighter's just not entertaining anymore.
I think for me the biggest thing, because I was watching Evo as well, I didn't get as many, like Tekken had it, but I noticed its absence in Street Fighter. The personalities, like I had no idea of the stories of the rivalries and stuff. I think Sonic Fox and Goichi, they had a rivalry, and that like elevates it. It makes it more interesting. And then the guy, the Pakistani player from Tekken, and like his comeuppance, and I was like, this is what, like, I mean, the games are great to watch just on a blank canvas, but like having these individuals, like the heart of it is what I think takes it to a higher level and like makes you care about. And
I'm just gonna bring something up real quick. I feel like that's what like the America's Got Talent or like those shows. They always pick they always pick like a person in line and they
With a good story?
they explain their story and you're just like, oh, and you start rooting for this person.
Sure.
And like, and they're up next. And
so
he's like, you're not going.
That
through.
Pakistani guy almost never made it to Evo. They had to work on his visa.
I think I remember this story.
It was a challenge just to come, and like from what I understood, the area and he is, there's no community, there's nowhere to like
train by himself.
Yeah,
Like,
and it's like, man, this guy was determined, and he fucking rose.
Yeah, Smash, no surprise, MK Leo. Dragon Ball was exciting, and Tekken was exciting. And then on last Thursday, I met Hartman, Nicholas Winding Ref.
How'd that go?
Oh man, dude. So there was also a comedian there. If you see him, he's on Veep. He's a bald dude, white guy. He has like not Tony Hill, but he has like he has a bald patch, like, and it has hair. young, maybe like 30s. He has a gap tooth. You'll know him if.
I'm gonna look at him. Keep talking.
He was the moderator. Nicholas came in later, so it was Ed Brubaker. They were just talking. So Ed Brubaker and Nicholas worked on a show called Too Old to Die Young. So that's when they brought out Nicholas, and that guy is. I'm much love to Nicholas, douche. Like, and what's funny is because like they're talking.
Matt Walsh.
No. It's like J. It starts with a J. They were talking, and he was like, I know I'm egotistical, but I mean, he admitted it, so I was like, okay. I found out that he doesn't watch movies. He doesn't watch TV shows. Ed Brubaker forced him to watch Atlanta.
That's funny.
They're like, you have to watch Atlanta because we want.
JP Mena.
No.
And what did he say about Atlanta?
He liked it because it's different.
Yeah.
Jonathan Hattery. This guy.
No. He's like you'll he writes comic book. He won't run one comic book.
That narrows it down for you.
I'll find it. But yeah, dude. So when Nicholas came in, he came in halfway through the talk. Like you could tell he didn't want to be there. Like
really?
Body language. Checked his phone. I mean, this dude came in with sunglasses inside an event. I was like, okay.
Hungover.
He was just like, all right, I'm ready to bounce. And when the event was preparing to sign for signing, like usually like everyone kind of just chills. Even if you're not the like main dude, you kind of chill. He got up and I was like, fuck, he's fucking leaving. Fucking walked up, got my drive signed, and I talked to him. I was like,
did anyone else do what you did?
Yeah. People followed me.
He's like,
and
fuck.
It's good that I had a Sharpie because I was thinking in my head, dude, worst case scenario, I should always have a Sharpie. And people were using my Sharpie to get their things signed.
That happened to me when the first time I met Kind of Funny. I brought my PS Vita. I was like, and I knew like Sharpie. I was like, oh, I'll have one. He's like, this is black. Do you have like a silver? Does anyone have a silver? I was like, I got you. And I got one. And then other people were like, I don't have a Sharpie. And then I was like, here, you guys can borrow it. I was like, Greg, take it. You guys use it. He's like, you sure? I'm like, yeah.
Sign it and I'll take it back.
But yeah, that's good. You came prepared.
And it's funny because I asked him a question, but I knew the answer to it. He only watches YouTube videos. So I asked him like, because in the trailer for Heartman for Death Stranding, he can only watch. He survives 20 minutes at a time, dies for 3 minutes, comes back to life 20 minutes, dies for 3 minutes. So his whole library of books, movies, music are 20-minute increments. And so I asked him, what would you have in your library where you could just consume 21 minutes? He's like, oh, I only watch YouTube videos.
I would have been like, what's a 21-minute fucking YouTube video?
I was like, nani?
Nani?
This guy's like a acclaimed director and just watches YouTube videos. I was like, okay, pretty cool.
So Casey
He's
Neistat
like,
had it right.
YouTube rent this movie.
But I think that was supposed to be my topic this week, but it'll be my topic next week. What would you have in your library if you can consume media for 21 minutes?
Porn.
But wouldn't I be able to like
Spoilers.
read 21 minutes worth of it, like die,
you
come back and read the
but
rest
I think
of
it's
it?
just annoying, dude.
Yeah.
I think it's just super annoying. I think he lived this life where he just wants.
I'm not a fast reader, dude. Like half a
Well, I
comic.
know. I think books are the worst. But he had books in his.
Yeah.
Hartman had books in his thing, but I think it's the worst to have. So that's it.
Nice.
Been a lot of like shows and movies for me. I watched. What did I watch? I watched Evangelion.
And finished it.
Yeah, finished it.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations. I love the animation. Like,
this is the first time I'm not in a fucking joke, and I don't understand you guys.
congratulations. I love the animation. And the one thing I'll say about End of Evangelion, the animation was really good. Like, it was already good, and it did stuff to it that was like really fluid and stuff.
This guy.
Oh, that guy. He's always on Comedy Central, like on something.
I know
He's in
too.
Veep, right?
I don't
He
think
said they said he was in Veep. So
he might have been a little bit. I don't think he's like a prominent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. He's so yeah. Anyway, so Evangelion, yeah, it was just the dynamics between the characters was really interesting. Like between Shinji and the other pilots, between the pilots and the staff at Nerve. They always said it weird as like Nerve.
just to add, rewatch the ending in the movie. I'm still confused. I cannot explain this plot to you. I cannot explain the plot. I kind of loosely know, but I would get it wrong.
It's fine. Don't, because I need to watch it.
Yeah, I'm still digesting that as well. But I like that it's like how it is. So it was a satisfying watch altogether. I love the Avas. I love the idea of the angels and everything that they show in the world.
AT field, what's it? Something
I
absolute terror field.
I forget.
Smart.
So
Smart. That name is smart.
I just love the tech, like the emergency protocols. Like watching Shin Godzilla, he very much draws from what he did with Evangelion because everything was like Protocol 5, cancel this, priority this. And it's like that's how Shin Godzilla was, which was like shit monster. I'm like we've never faced this before, but we have protocols, and it's like
And you hear like all the emergency sounds, the or whatever.
I would love to see Evangelion cross Godzilla. Anyway, so I watched that. Then I saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
What did you think?
There were things I enjoyed, but the longer it went, the less I remembered those things.
So can I explain it? The thing that we kept
Spoilers for anyone watching. We're going to talk about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
So I was saying that there's a scene where the stunt driver goes to the ranch.
Yes, I know.
And without context, I still feel like that was a nerve-wracking. But I feel like with context, it would have been even more nerve-wracking. And the context is, in reality, there was a dead stuntman driver found at the ranch.
Okay.
So then
I don't think that did anything for me.
Well, knowing that, you'd watch this scene, you'd be like, "This motherfucker's gonna fucking die."
He's going to be that guy.
Yeah, he's gonna be that fucking guy.
Yeah. That's why I think
The thing
watch
for me,
notice Sharon Tate murders, please, before you watch the movie.
Even with that, like I kept thinking about that after. I was like, had I known those elements and why is Sharon Tate? Why are we spending any time with this person and all these things? And I knew Charlie Manson had something to do with it. I was like, okay, I have just suspicions, but I'm like, when is it going to get to anything focused on that. And I'm like, I have to constantly remind myself, is this a Tarantino movie? Is this a Tarantino movie? But then 2.5 hours go by, I'm like, is this still a Tarantino movie? Is this a Netflix show? Like, the runtime was where I think he has, if there's anything, like everything, I'm like, he hasn't changed his writing. He hasn't changed how the actors act. What has changed? And to me, my humble opinion is that the runtime for Hateful Eight and for this are both significantly longer than any of his other movies. And I think that has a negative impact on the experience. Maybe not for all. I know you guys had a more positive experience to me, but like if there's anything to take anyone out, I think that is something that if you're not ready for, like if I was watching this at home, I think it'd be like if it was a 4-episode like Netflix thing or something, I think it would be way easier to digest.
I wouldn't finish it.
I want to add something because I couldn't talk about it last time.
Yeah.
One perfect shot.
Which shot?
I think this is the best shot thing that I've seen in film is when he's talking to the girl in the ranch. If you noticed, normally like a film angle is like this. Dakota Fanning.
Oh, inside the house?
Through the screen door.
Yeah.
Oh,
when they
through
open the
screen
screen door and they're talking. There's this fucking smart shot. Normally when you film, it's normal like this. When he filmed that shot when they're talking back and forth, it's skewed. So it gave this like real. I was like, okay, something. I knew the fucking feeling. Okay, something bad is gonna happen. It's like shot like this, and I'm just like, I never felt that tense in Inglourious Bastards. That beginning, the milk thing.
Yeah,
this guy's dead, dude. I was like, this dude is dead.
I just think the way he played everything of like the crowd drawing, then going away, and you're like, oh shit, like. I am almost more scared with them not there than with them like I know where they are. And yeah, I mean, I think the other expectation was he has a penance for like excessive violence, and it seemed like much more refined and drawn short. But when it came, and I love that part. I wanted more of that, I guess. But the other side, I'll say, I want to know like. You were saying, Jang, last week about Brad Pitt's performance. Can you elaborate more on that? Just like some examples or some elements that like stood out to you.
It was fucking amazing. I mean,
like what about it was
Leo's
amazing?
Performance was cool too, but I don't know. It was just like really. This dude is like fucking like loyal and just like.
Is it that camaraderie that
ride.
it showed?
Yeah, down to ride.
Okay. Because for me, I was thinking of like. I don't know, his acting, and less about like what the actions of the character were. And I thought like to me like it was good, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't like you weren't the only one. I heard several people like, oh my god, Brad's performed Brad. I was like, I mean, he was good. I'm not knocking it, but like I thought DiCaprio as Rick Dalton, like
Rick fucking Dalton,
like his like. It went down to not just like him playing an actor, like acting scenes. It like when he had his his.
You're fucking idiot.
No, not even that. Like when he was meeting Al Pacino and his like eyes are like twitching and his like he has a little bit of a stutter and then like he's nervous and then he's like more relaxed and then he's playing cool on the commercial and then when the camera's off like he's just like shaking and I was like he's fucking like off the Richter scale. Like to me that was I could watch 2.5 hours of just all of his auditions.
His character, dude. Brad, it's just like the epitome of coolness. Everything that he did in that film, like fix a damn tire. It's like.
I think as a character,
he had moments. To me, that was like more moments than it was like I don't know.
I think as a character,
it didn't resonate as much with me.
For me, Brad Pitt was very enticing. But yeah, as an actor, it was Rick Dalton for me, or essentially Leonardo DiCaprio, because he did a great job showing the fact that like as the actor, as playing someone, he's the person that you want to see as an actor. But then in his real life form, within that movie, he's very nervous. He's nerve-wracked because he's like, I'm past my peak. Like I'm no longer famous, and it shows it. Like
the only other actor that I can think of in recent years that has done sort of what Leo did was James Franco, where he's playing someone who has to then play someone.
Yeah.
And like that mind space, I'm like, how do you get like
you're playing two people in a fucking show?
You got to play someone that like then they have to play someone a different way.
Yeah.
and they have their flaws and discrepancies and like making it feel genuine. I was like,
and in
there's something like impressive about
in this
that.
movie, he played like 3, possibly even 4 characters. Like he
Oh,
played,
the role. I love the fucking Nazi one.
he played 3 characters. He played Dalton.
Yeah.
He played a specific character that Dalton always plays.
Oh,
like in the
law
westerns.
one?
Yeah, and then he played the new character that the hippie
The villain guy.
the villain
heel.
guy. Yeah, that was a completely different person from the other
heavy.
2 actors that he is. So I
played
was like,
several
this guy,
more.
yeah, he's like, yeah, but those were a lot smaller.
The-
But
the
those are
bigger-
the major,
yeah.
those are the bigger ones.
I did love. I gotta say, just them together, their chemistry was fantastic.
I love the Great Escape story.
Oh,
They talk about,
yeah.
Did you get that? What happened to you? You didn't get that role, and then it shows them fucking filming it. You probably got fired, dude. It's like, holy shit, dude. Fucking Steve McQueen.
The actor.
I was tripping out. That guy's a piece of shit, though. In real
Really?
life. Yeah, Steve McQueen.
Why?
He domestic abuse.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So there's a scene in The Getaway where he hits a girl, hit her in
That
real
was
life.
real?
That was real. It wasn't acting. And he was a wife abuser. And,
Damn. Well, fuck.
You're like, I don't want to talk about this movie anymore.
But I mean,
It was an experience. I like-
Kind of like what was kind of trippy. It's good that they got rid of him.
Mm-hmm.
No Harvey Weinstein Company. It was
Yeah.
weird. I was like, this is weird.
Yeah.
Like seeing a Quentin Tarantino.
The
film.
city you guys mentioned, I really felt like they really changed how everything looked. And I was thinking, I'm like, I wonder how much they even did in some areas. Like when they were just pulling apart, I'm like, it probably was just like the subtlest things, but it
Yeah.
was the right things. It's like, that was cool. But like, again, all of this, like I'm sitting on and marinating on and remembering now. But like during it, it was just,
Yeah.
I was like,
You're like, this is kind of long. Like this is.
yeah.
Also, how Leo kills the last person. Like, I don't know how Hobbs and Shaw kill or defeat. I want things to be unpredictable and a cool way to kill the last boss. The way Leo did it, I did
That
not
was
expect it.
beautiful.
I did not expect it. I was like, oh fuck, okay, because like they set it up. It was like,
I know.
oh, it's
My
hot.
friend
It's
told
a
me.
flamethrower.
My friend told me earlier because he was paying more attention. And he's like,
Yeah.
if you notice in the tool shed when they go into it earlier for the stuff, it's there. And I'm like, oh, cool. But yeah, good casting too. I thought everyone did great. Okay, so I saw that. Then immediately after, I watched Hobbs and Shaw. I think for what I was expecting and what I got, that one was more. I mean, it was easier because
Yeah.
I feel like it's just like
Yeah.
fucking deliver action.
But did Idris Elba die in a cool way or was it
No.
like, no?
They do some one trick pony like video game thing. It's like, what's this Zelda boss mechanic? Oh, do that 4 times. Like I was like, what? I don't know. That
I
kind
didn't
of.
see it that way, but I see what you're saying now that,
Yeah,
now that
okay.
you mention it.
But throughout the film, I thought he had some good screen time. It wasn't just like one line, kind of like monotone. He had a personality a bit. There are some surprises in terms of people that come into the movie. I heard that there were people talking about like the retconning or the continuity of like Shaw, Jason Statham's character, and what he has already. They're trying to portray him in this like positive light, but it's like he kills the Fast and Furious franchise. He's the person responsible for Han passing
Yeah.
in the films, and it's like, are we just gonna forget that? It's like I hope they address it. And I think some of them were saying it is gonna be a topic of like going on in future films, whether it be this or other things. But it's fun.
They do bring up the topic, like he does understand that he's done very,
Yeah,
very
right.
bad things.
But I'm
Like,
wondering if they'll go into more. I remember
specific
people were
to that.
saying like it's just easy to ignore. I'm like I think it got mentioned. Maybe it's just not up front, but it was fun. It was a good time. So I watched that. Then I watched The Boys,
the whole thing.
all of it.
It's 6.
8
Okay. Easy.
is good, real good.
Better
I-
than Preacher?
I haven't watched all of Preacher, but
So
I
far,
know
yes.
where Preacher is at now. I think my challenge for Preacher, and I think yours was the same thing. I want to just power through season 1, because season 1 is like the slow. It's like not even the comic. It's like they're doing prequel stuff. But I know I've kind of been keeping tabs on the show, and they do go into the other stuff that is in the comics. I'm like, I want
That's what I
that,
wanna see.
and I just want to get to that because I like the stories that they draw from are from the same writer, Garth Ennis.
I feel like they don't mention. There's a cool issue where they talk about Jesse's dad.
You're talking about Preacher.
Yeah. There's like the Vietnam, the how he got the lighter, fuck communism,
Sure.
which is in Why the Last Man. Ooh. It's in Why the Last Man.
I mean, it's not going to be as good as the comic. I know that, but I appreciate, like, at least for the boys, the concept I think is great at this day and age with, like, we're getting more of the disturbed weird stuff. And, like, I've never seen so many warnings on a, like, this show contains...
Oh, wow.
One of my friends was describing it to me before I started watching. They're like, I saw a warning on there that I'm like, I shouldn't, like, that warning is making me warned. Like, it's like, and then like Katie and I were like, she was kind of curious. I was like, all right, let's watch it. And I knew going in what I was getting into. And within 5 minutes, she's like, I don't know if I should be watching this anymore. And then like 10 more minutes passed by. She's like, I don't want to watch this anymore. And then like, she's like, finish the episode. And she's like, yeah, I don't want to watch this anymore. I'm like, all right. But then she's like, what happened? What happened? What? And it is graphic and more, and not just visually, but like the ideas they present of like what's fucked up. If you're not familiar with the comic, it is a very fucked up world. It's essentially, imagine like Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman, that kind of like superpowered team and world that we live in. But these superheroes have a lot of collateral. Like they'll randomly accidentally do something and it's like, holy fuck, that's like you just ruined an individual's life or a family's life or whoever. And there's like, they're just like, whatever. And like that kind of gets brushed under the rug. And that's the world this is
like
kind of set
like a small concept would be like, in most comic books, Superman will like throw a fucking car at someone. But in this concept, there's people in that car and he still throws it.
Sure.
And everyone in that car fucking dies.
Or like the car hits the villain and that villain gets thrown into like
A building. And
a building.
and just murders everyone in that building
Yeah.
because he just landed in
Yeah.
there. Okay.
It's like all those buildings that are empty in all these movies, they're not empty anymore. But then they also have like fucked up personality quirks. Like some have like addictions, others have like kinks, and others have like other shit. And it's like, whoa, like thinking about like these things that are not new, but like thinking about them in the context of the superhero stuff, it's like, oh, that's weird now because it's not just normal.
But what's funny is like, you know, just because someone has a superpower doesn't mean that they're immune to these type of things, like being addicted to a drug, being addicted.
Yeah.
So that's such a cool thing to think
And
about.
I feel like they flesh it out. They don't just like, oh, it's this, because like some people are like womanizers and they don't just like make them a womanizer. It's like, no, there's more to it. And then it's not to say it's sympathetic towards it, but like there's levels of like where that goes to and what that individual is like. And I'm surprised what they did with some of the characters.
Damn.
The cast was great. There's like a lot of unknowns, but Carl Urban's like the main noticeable one as
and
Billy
they do
the
a good
Butcher.
job within those 8 episodes.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, it ends more too much on a cliffhanger,
Oh, okay.
in my opinion. Like, I honestly was like, wait, is there another episode? And it's like, what?
that's
Okay.
it.
But as a show, I was like, I was entertaining.
Yeah.
But they are set for another season. So I wonder if it'll get a longer season if this was a pilot season or not. But
Garth Ennis is a good writer.
yeah,
Damn good.
the source material, like, if you like what I was saying with Preacher's so good. The comic, the Boys comic goes into much more of all this. This kind of like shortens a lot of things and kind of combines. But yeah, it was a good show. If you're able to handle a lot of that stuff, then it might be worth trying. And if you're in the right mindset for it, like watch the Red Band trailer for a proper like that is what you're going to be getting. So I did that, and then I haven't played. I mean, all these fucking shows and movies. I don't think I've been taking a little bit of a Destiny break, and all their games. I'm
Isn't
playing
there,
Pokemon Go.
You're still trying to get any more of the
It's Triumphs.
the triumphs, or now you're
I have
just.
one more.
But this is the one that
This is the raid. I've done all the other stuff.
this also like once you complete this, it gives you that other
The seal.
triumph, the seal. Yeah. Okay.
I just need to do a raid, and I'm not gonna try and do it on like a regular day. One of my days off, I'm gonna be like,
Did you see the like that glitch that they had where you can punch bosses to death?
it's
and,
not a glitch. That's
Or I guess not a glitch. but
like one of the buffs they did has made it so that this one combination of like build with an arms
on a hunter.
on a hunter class with a certain gauntlet
yeah.
and a certain class, you can essentially like with a
Punch.
group of people that are doing it, it's
Yeah.
like 1 second to kill a boss. By yourself, no, though, it's made so many things soloable. You're like anything soloable with this build is just like.
I think the concept is the that glove or gauntlet that you wear is supposed to allow like after a certain kill you get like it does like 4 times damage
it's-
or it does like a
it's
ton more damage.
ridiculous.
But if you do like a certain step before that,
It adds to
stays
some-
it stays active or something
Oh,
like
yeah,
that. And so every punch is just the fucking 4 times damage, and so you're just beating the shit. And so hunters, I think, have one of the faster melee, or I
Maybe,
guess
I
they're
don't
all
know.
kind of the same cooldown. But yeah,
I've seen it. I don't do it, but I'm like I need to focus on some other stuff.
yeah,
so.
okay.
But yeah. Oh, actually, before I forget, I finished Dune. I mean, you can leave them there. I forgot to bring it up last. What the fuck? I finished reading Dune Messiah, the second in the Dune series. Really trippy stuff. Love the franchise. I'm eager to start Children of Dune.
Children of Man.
When did he stop writing the books?
What year?
When? Which book?
6. He did 6 books, and then he stopped, and he had sometime after that I think passed. And his son has continued writing in the world and done other books. I'm not as interested in. I was reading synopsis just to be like, what is it even about? And it's not anything I'm curious about. I've heard that after the 3rd one in this, there's a big like jump of like change of characters, and some people find that too jarring. But I'm still willing. I'm like, I like his writing. That I'm wanting to see where it takes it. But it's like really meta. It's like it primed me for Evangelion, I think, with like the abstract, like heavy stuff that it handles, like the larger.
Congratulations.
Yeah. And then I started reading the Witcher books. The first one is a series of short stories, and it's very interesting. Like, I'm putting myself now in the framework, like Witcher stories, at least these short ones, are very much like Hellboy stories, where it's like he's taking folklore and putting a spin on it. So like 2 instances. One is Nurse Manhattan.
TOS.
One of the stories, he goes and he finds a cabin in the woods, or is a large estate, and there's a large bear-like creature that lives there with fangs and stuff. He's like, "Are you come to kill me?" He's like, "No," and he's like talking all kindly to him and stuff. He's like, "Well, then I invite you into my home," and he brings him in, and everything's moving on its own. He's like, "What the fuck?" And then he talks to this creature. And he's like, "You aren't a beast. Like there's something about you. You aren't a monster. You were a human." And he's like, "You're right." And he goes into it, and he's like, "I was turned into a beast." And it's Beauty and the Beast. Essentially. He was turned into a beast, but for other reasons. He was in this family. His family was a gang, and they did shitty stuff, and he never did it. And then he ended up having to start doing it, and he did it to the wrong person. They cursed him, and he's lived here. And now the thing is, merchants come up, and they're like, "Hey, like help me somehow." And he's like, "What?" He's like, "All right, I'll make you a deal. Give me your daughter for a year." Because I'm just lonely. Like,
Right.
not for sex. Like, I want company. He's like trying to be nice. I just want someone to talk to, and it's lonely. And so he's like, as long as they can stay with me for 1 year, I'll take care of them. I'll treat them well. I give them back to you in a year, and you can have all this gold. And so he's done this like for 7 years to all these different merchants. The last one was someone they've kind of had a better connection, and then she went back and. The witch is like, "That's why I'm here. She's gone missing, and I want to know what." And he's like, "There was one night I told her never. The wood, like this world is fantasy and
Yeah.
shit. She's like, never go out." And she went out, and she turns into a vampire, and like something happens where love is involved, and he makes a decision based on love and the curse. It's like, oh, okay, this is the through lines are there.
I don't know if you've played the games. There's DLC content.
Yeah.
One of them revolves around I think the prince and the frog prince. I think, and that like so. I guess you meet like a creature that's a frog, and he ends up being the prince or whatever. And that's within the game. So like it has. And when I heard that, because I remember I gifted that specific one DLC to Roberto because he was a huge fan of the series. And the DLC had just come out, so I got it for him, and he was explaining to me, I'm like, that's fucking sick. Like, I didn't realize that they like did a certain take.
I'm
on
really
these.
curious what other ones they do, because
Yeah.
some of them are original stories, some of them are. I'm like, what is this from? Because the other one is Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. She's like, she was a princess, her mother was killed, and like this wizard's like, she's a monster, like she's fucked up,
Yeah.
and then you confront her, and she's like, no, I mean, he made me a monster
Yeah.
because I had to like, I was a homeless person. I had to like sleep with people. I had to kill people. I had to do fucked up shit. And that's why the only reason I'm alive still. And these dwarves like gave me a home. They were actually kind of nice. And you're like, oh, I know what story this is. And then it's like complex. And you're like, oh shit, both sides have some point. I'm like, fuck. I feel like there's a dialogue tree, like
But I like that when they do like a take on a story like that and twist it to what.
Yeah,
the
no, it's
reality
really
is.
interesting. I'm curious how like because the other novels are bigger and around the same, but they're like one story.
Yeah.
I'm curious what those stories like, because his writing seems very well lent to short stories, and I'm really liking him so far. So that was the final thing I just wanted to touch on because I forgot.
Speaking of The Witcher, I bought it for $15. Add it to the pile of games we never played.
Hey,
PlayStation,
we buy games, we don't play them.
PlayStation Summer Sale going on right now.
We buy books, we don't read them.
Our catchphrases. Where can people find you guys?
Congratulations. Oh, bad timing? They can find me at the Folio everywhere, but not really.
At The Last Bosses everywhere.
Acquisition Prime. You can find us all at the Weekly DLC, and let us know what you think of some of these topics we talked about. We had some very interesting stuff, some very ethically, questioning stuff, and then just some positive vibes. So let us know. We'd love to hear from you. We always are here, so hit us up. And until next time, we'll
DLC.
You later.